Welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman. You are now rocking with me, the Madman. And today I wanted to talk to you about receiving advice. Throughout my talks, throughout my listening to different podcasts, I came to realize people do not understand why they receive the advice that they receive. They may understand the advice being given, but they don't understand why. And often that when you're giving somebody advice, they may combat it with what another person may be doing. Like, what if you're telling me this, but what about if this person does this person does that? So I kind of really got an understanding after talking to one of my friends that they really didn't get why I was giving them the advice I was giving them, right? And like I said, I'm listening to podcasts, and for the example I want to say, right, I was listening to the Brilliant Idiots podcast yesterday, and they had Glasses Malone on there, and he was saying how he was on a podcast and particular ladies asked him, how do you receive a how would they get a good man, right? If they was in search of a good man, how would they go about getting a good man? And his advice was to tell them, well, don't have sex with them immediately or wait till marriage. And I don't know how that particular conversation went, but back to the Brilliant Idiots, Taylor combated that advice of Glasses with, well, what about the man? Why are you putting so much responsibility on the man? And once again, I say, oh, you're not realizing why you're receiving the advice you're receiving. The advice aside, you don't even understand why you're receiving the advice you're receiving. And what I want to tell people is, when you go to somebody for advice, whether it's your friend, family, or whoever, therapist, right? You are receiving the advice you're receiving because you are the person to give advice to. You're the one asking. You're the one in my presence. You're the only one, the person who's giving advice can have an influence on. So if as a woman you go to a man, or I mean any particular person, man, woman, whatever, and you ask, hey, how can I get a man? And they give you advice, it's not about the other person. It's not about whoever else you may come across. You are receiving this advice because you are in front of my face. I can't tell you what another person should do or how another person can act or another person should receive it. They're not here to receive the information I'm giving. So I can only give advice to you. I can only tell you what you should do. If you have an issue, another example, if you have an issue, say my wife has an issue at work with whoever, coworker, boss, whatever. I don't know her boss. I don't know her coworkers for us to have a whole sit down and we all can I could play mediator. I can only give advice to my wife. Hey, this is going on. This is how you should handle it. This is what you should do. If you do this and then they come back with this, you should do this. Whatever advice I'm giving my wife, I can only give to her. is no other person available to make everybody have a responsibility within the situation to make a better of the situation. I think a lot of people are not, like I said, a lot of people aren't understanding that when you ask somebody for advice, you ask somebody their opinion on something, it's not necessarily personal to you as you are the bad guy. It's your fault. You the everything that needs to be done to correct the situation is on you. You're the only one there to receive what could happen or should happen to make the situation better. I really think people are losing that in receiving of these communications. I want us to start communicating better. And like I said, it's about word choice, it's about understanding, and it's about the understanding of why you are receiving what you are receiving. And again, I want to say to you, it's not that you are the problem. It's not that you are expected to be the bigger person within the situation. It's solely because you are coming to me. So I can only tell you what you should do. There's nobody else that I can talk to and say, well, if she's going to do this and you're going to do that, then maybe it'll go better if she does this and you do that, and vice versa. There's one person giving you advice and there's one person receiving it. So again, I think once we come to a better understanding in this communication process, that we'll all do better. We'll all do our part in being better communicators. But I just wanted to share that with my peoples, and I'm out. I appreciate you. This is the mind of a madman, and thank you for walking with me in this journey.